Hey everybody, it's Jared Akers from How to Be Happy, Happiness for the Practical Mind at jaredakers.com. I recently wrote a article about, a post on my website about how to be happy traveling, 5 tips on travel and life. Now, I kind of just wanted to talk about those briefly in this video, kind of a visual to go along with the content on my site. And one of the things I liked about it was, I kind of related it to travel and life. And so the 5 things are: lower expectations, do your homework, pack light, budget yourself, and stay in the moment. Now, the lower expectations one is tricky because I'm even guilty of a lot of times having expectations of a vacation and life, and then in reality it doesn't end up living up to that. And as the saying goes, today's expectations are tomorrow's resentments, or expectations are resentments in training, what have you. But for instance, on our recent trip to Belize, I'd spent a lot of time researching that trip and where to stay and all that stuff, and so I put a lot of thought into it. So I knew I had the right place, and we got there and we had to fly a little, in a little plane over to the little airstrip and walk over to our resort, and we stayed on Ambergris Key, and so we got there, and I was pretty sure I wanted a second floor, a room on the second floor, because it would be a better view, and I just kind of read some reviews on TripAdvisor, but when we got there, all they had was a ground floor, and I kind of went in there, and it wasn't really what I had expected in my mind, and so I was kind of like, for the first half hour, I was just really like, well, should we try to get another room or stay here a couple nights? Should we unpack? And and it really kind of put me in a funk for like the first half hour. My wife, bless her heart, she was so good. She goes, well, yeah, we can do that. We can ask around, and and she kind of helped me find. I know that she's smart, and I know that she knew that I had some expectations, and that it was getting to me, and they weren't being met, and but she kind of let me figure that out myself, So we ended up staying there and had the best time of our life, and we're gonna go back, and if we go back, we're gonna get that same room because we loved it so much, and so it just kind of gives you an idea of. And in life, you want to try to lower your expectations and try to manage them, at least, especially of yourself, and most certainly of others as well. And do your homework. Number 2, do your homework. I don't know, that one I kind of thought of that one because, when we go to, we've traveled all over Mexico and in Central America and the Caribbean, and I always try to read up a little bit or learn a little bit about the local culture, and so that when we get there, I have at least an idea of who they are, what they've went through in their history, and just a little bit. I mean, you don't have to be a history buff by any means, but it gives you some good conversation pieces, and it shows that you've done a little bit of homework and you've put in some time. And it's certainly, if you can learn the language, that is awesome. I want to, I have a mission of learning Spanish. I know. Well, not much really, but anyway, that's just, it shows respect, and certainly in life, do homework on yourself and know yourself as well as you can. Be self-aware, learn how to be emotionally connected with yourself, and that just comes from years of practice for me, and a lot of hard work. And also, like, if you're going to a job interview, do your homework on the company. Know who you're going to be working for and who you're going to meet, and try to figure out what their interests are, and see if you have any similar interests, and just do your homework and be prepared, and as well as you can. Don't be neurotic about it by any means, but because I can be a lot of times, if I'm researching like a product or something to buy, I can get analysis paralysis and get a little overwhelmed. Okay, the third thing, pack light. We've kind of learned over the years that when you're packing, try to take several different clothes, and this is regarding travel, shirts that can go with several different pairs of pants. Don't take, like, we'll try to take solid colors, and we roll all of our clothing. And one huge tip is to get a travel scale. It's one of those little scales that I don't have one with me, but there's a link in the article on my site to one. It's a little digital scale. It's just tiny. It takes some watch batteries, and it helps you keep your luggage below weight, and then you just take it with you. And we're scuba divers, so we have to take our scuba gear. It's important for us to keep all of our gear our luggage under 50 pounds, so we don't have to pay extra. And it's really handy, trust me. And also, packing light in life is kind of like, we're in this process now of trying to get rid of a lot of things. Because one thing I've learned recently, especially with my father passing away and going back home and helping my mom go through a lot of stuff, and although it's sentimental and there's a lot of neat stuff and there's a lot of memories, I don't really want to, if something happens to me, I don't want a lot of people to have to go through all my crap, basically. And plus, it's just stuff, and at some point we'd like to travel a lot more, as we get older, and it'd just be nicer not to have so much stuff. And so pack light if you can, and budget yourself. Number 4 is budget yourself. My wife and I, what we do is we have a vacation fund, a savings account, and we just put a few dollars in there each week. Sometimes we each put 60 in there, sometimes we each put 40 in there. We try to each put the same amount in there most of the time, and we do that every week. And then every 6 months we kind of have enough to go on a vacation. Depends on where we want to go. If we want to go someplace that's going to cost a little bit more, we may wait a year. We try not to do that because we like to go every 6 months because it kind of keeps us fresh. And then you come back and you're looking forward to come back to work. And I don't know, it's just, for us, it works out pretty good. And so we never take a vacation until we've paid off the last one. Usually we'll set a budget. Usually for us, sometimes it's around $2,500 to like $3,000. But that also, sometimes we get a lot cheaper than that. It just kind of depends on where we're going. And I'll probably post some information later and do some videos and post on the website about finding good deals online and stuff like that. So and also we try to budget ourselves in life. Now this is something that a lot of people might not agree with or might not like, but me and my wife still have separate bank accounts. Now we do bank at the same place so we can transfer money back and forth, and we kind of just split everything right down the middle. When we first started dating, I moved in with her and she was charging me rent, and it's kind of worked. But we share everything, and before we make any big decisions, we kind of have a budget, but before we make any big decisions, like if I'm going to purchase something, like I wanted to purchase a road bike, for my triathlons and stuff, but I talked it over with her first because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything that we needed as a family first before I went out and spent something like that on myself, and I talked about it. And we do. So that way we can spend money, on little items and on each other without feeling guilty and having to run it by the other person. But we're always communicating about finances and making sure that we're making the best decision for, the household first. But as far as groceries and utility bills and mortgage and all that stuff, we kind of just split down the middle now. She makes pretty good money. Most of the time I make a little bit more than she does. So, we try to compensate there, where I'll pay for, if we go to Costco or something, I'll pick up the tab, but then if I give her the receipt, she'll split it down the middle, but we talk about it a lot, which is important, communication. So, and then lastly, number 5 is stay in the moment. Now that is so important, and I really made a conscious effort this last trip to Belize to really stay in the moment. I used these natural tranquility or natural hypnosis CDs, MP3s, that if you're on my mailing list, I've talked about those before. And those really helped me get calm and meditate and stay in the moment. And then it seemed like the vacation lasted forever. We were only there for 7 days, but I'm just taking in every single moment and making all these wonderful memories and reminding myself to just stay present. And that's one of the good things about not making a lot of plans. I used to be like this plan master where I had to have the whole entire vacation. We scuba dive, so I had to have all our scuba dives, scheduled and everything like that, and confirmed, and and then you're constantly looking at your clock to see if you're going to make it on time, and it just, when you're bound by time like that, it really makes it hard to stay in the moment. At least for me, it was. And so when I kind of got a lot less relaxed, and if it works out, it works out. We'll get there. We'll find out where we're going to dive, and I do some investigating before we go, and so I kind of know where to go and who's available, and kind of but I really try not to make any strict plans before we get there, and just kind of play it by ear. And after all, we're on vacation, and we need to relax, and that's certainly just as applicable to life, staying in the moment. And anyway, so that's kind of some things that I was thinking about on how to be happy traveling. 5 tips on travel and life, and those are: lower expectations, do your homework, pack light, budget yourself, and stay in the moment. So anyway, that's it. Jared Akers from How to Be Happy. Happiness for the Practical Mind at jaredakers.com, and I'll see you around.